in a few minutes because I know they're coming. Mary Ellen, I'm going to meet Ann McDonough today for at least, so we're together going to our Syrian refugee family down in West Rogers Park.
Oh, very nice. I just emailed with her.
Okay.
I wanted to ask you, are you aware of the Deerfield Free Shop that is set up? Okay.
At the church, yes.
Okay.
Thank you, for sure, yeah. And they're very nice, I told her what our family is looking for, and she sent me some photos, because you have to go by appointment. And before we schlepped them from West Rogers Park out to Deerfield, I wanted to check if they had anything even close to what they're looking for. So she sent a bunch of photos. I don't think any of them are close to what they're looking for, but I'll show them the photos today.
Are you going to post anything to the shul, through social action or whatever, to ask if people have things? Or
well, so there was a group of people who kind of volunteered to do this with us, and I think it's Linda Cup. So Linda, I think Linda's the one who's been doing the emailing to the group. I am taking a back seat in terms of administration. It's like I don't need one more thing to administer. I don't need but I've been the one who's visiting this family the most. So the Syrian family that was assigned to us is actually an extended family. 2 parents and 2 teenage sons came first, and then her parents came second, and I'm on the team for the grandparents. And they live right across the street from each other, which is really nice.
Okay, very cool, very cool.
I'll grab a tissue. Oh, and that reminds me. I should practice a little of my Arabic today before I go. One more language, ladies, one more. So I bought myself an Arab phrase book because I don't like using Google Translate, and his English is really very good. However, we're asking him to tell us how to say, just certain greetings, certain simple things in Arabic. And it's hard for me to know exactly what he's saying. So I decided I'd buy myself a little phrase book, and that would help me.
Good idea.
Never too late to learn a few new words in another language.
This is true.
That's what brings us together, right?
Language. Now, if we could figure out a way to share food on Zoom, I'd be happy with that.
Oh, there we go.
Oh my gosh, last Friday, I made for the first time. So my husband retired officially last Friday, and I made a special dinner. And I made, it was like a cheesecake pie, but it basically was cheese Danish. Blackberry cheese Danish.
Ooh.
It took me way back to when my mother would buy cheese Danish, particularly when my grandmother visited. They like to have cheese Danish. And this just tasted just like what I remembered.
Awesome. Was that the dessert or the dinner, Rachel?
That was the dessert.
Oh.
I made a lovely mushroom pasta. He loves pasta. So, but if Len had it his way, the pasta he would eat would be spaghetti with meat sauce or meatballs every single time. And it's like, oh my God, no way. So I try to make some other form of pasta for him. And he never complains, ever.
That's great.
So.
When I was growing up, and we would go into, I lived Northwest Indiana. We'd go to Chinatown for supper on Sunday, and then we'd stop at something called like Hackle's Bakery, but maybe it was on the south side.
Must have been.
And pick up, like this would be like Saturday night, and we'd pick up all kinds of sweet rolls for Sunday morning. And they made some kind of a poppy seed something, and you walk in there, of course, the yeast smell would be so wonderful and overwhelming that even though it's many years ago, I remember it.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
fully.
Those memories are so strong. So I instead of making brisket all the time, I switched several years ago to making basically corned beef and cabbage. I found this really great recipe, and the reason I love it is it reminds me of the corned beef we got at this kosher deli in Washington, D.C. Except he would slice it thinner and I'm slicing it thicker and serving it for dinner instead of us having it on sandwiches or something. But so my sister was here. Oh, it was at Pesach. I think I made it while she was here. And I told her my story. I said, it takes me right back to Posen's delicatessen. She took one bite and she goes, oh my God, you're right. This is exactly what it tasted like. And I'm like, see that? There we go. So those
Great.
memories are so strong.
Rachel, I remember Posen's.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and do you remember Silver's?
No, a vague, that was in Silver Spring, wasn't it?
Right, and that was where you got all the pastries and the Danishes.
We were a huge Posen's family. Oh my gosh, it was my favorite place to go. We like, did you know, what wasn't it called, the Bagel Maker? What was he had a very simple name, this bagel store. And they had
Bagel City?
no, it was before Bagel City.
Okay.
It was in Wheaton.
Oh, yes.
We called it the Bagel Maker. I don't know. I thought that was the company's name. That's just what I always called it. And they had the most terrific bagels, in my opinion, but they also had really great pastry.
Yes, I remember that place. Right.
Yes, I lived not far from there growing up.
Lorraine, where do you live now?
I live in Rockville, Potomac.
Oh, so you're still here.
Right, but I grew up in Silver Spring.
So what?
And
can
I was
you
born
tell-
in.
So I'm in Arlington, but I get my hair cut in Rockville, and
That's a big schlep.
someone I worked with when I was working still got her hair cut there, and I went to her mom's shiva once, and there were 5 women in a circle, and all different. We all look different. We're from different parts of the DC area, but we all got our hair cut at the same place because she recommended it. And it's really been great. But anyway, I cannot find a decent deli in the area. And I guess Parkway or whatever is maybe the closest.
Parkway.
But it's not great. It's okay.
You have to go to New York then.
That makes me so sad to think of that. You would think that with
I feel like I'm an outlier here among all these people.
no, but you're lucky if you have delis at your easy disposal.
And we have wonderful bagels all over.
You do.
Yes.
So the Bagel Maker, I always thought made really, really good bagels. They made them properly. They boiled them before they baked them.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Out here in Chicago, I call them rolls with holes. I know I'm a snob, but they're bad in my opinion. And Mary Ellen, you don't have quite the history I have with bagels. So
No, mine was corned beef and cabbage.
yeah, well, maybe exactly. We can compare recipes.
I hated it.
There should be some good delis in Chicago, although I think a lot of them have disappeared since I was little.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. The kosher bagels I like is Emma's. I do like Emma's bagels.
Yeah.
Now I want us to get together so I'll know what a good bagel is, because I don't even know. I
Well,
have no clue.
Brooklyn, I hear. You have to go to Brooklyn to get this bagel.
I know, maybe New York could ship us
they can.
some.
You can order. Go on Goldbelly. Goldbelly.com is nationwide, and go to New York City and put in bagels. I like Russ and Daughters bagels, but
Spell that, please.
a Goldbelly.
No, Russin something.
Russ?
No, Russ is RUSS, like the name,
Right.
Russ and Daughters.
My husband
Like
had
Russell.
my husband had an office in St. Louis. He used to every once in a while go to St. Louis, and he used to bring them bagels. So when he brought them on the airplane, the whole place smelled like everybody was salivating. It was so hard to bring bagels on an airplane. You really smell it when it's fresh.
To me, the best byproduct of the pandemic is the fact that we now order Russ and Daughters from New York City delivered here to my house in Chicago. And I am in heaven. So that I think they got it for me for Mother's Day, the beginning of the pandemic. And
If you go to the Jewish Museum, they have Russ and Daughters has the concession there.
right,
Get all
right.
that food.
You
Yeah.
mean in Pennsylvania?
No, in New York City on the Lower East Side.
Oh, okay, okay.
No, the Jewish Museum on the Upper East Side.
Oh,
There's
right,
two.
right, right.
On the Lower East Side is the Jewish Heritage Museum.
Thank you. And the
they
Tenement Museum.
also have
Yeah.
a wonderful place to go for lunch if you're ever there. And I go there just for their food.
Well, can you get, I mean, first of all, how long does it take to get to you, Rachel?
Oh, when you order it, it comes overnight.
And it's what I miss, because I don't eat beef anymore and I don't eat bread anymore. So so much as I love that stuff, I just don't do it. But and this is bad too because of the sodium, but I would risk my health for it. I love half sour kosher dills. And you cannot find good ones in this area except maybe at Parkway or whatever it's called. And I only know that deli because I dated somebody in Silver Spring and he used to take me there. So he was not Jewish, but
He knew a good place to go.
yeah, and he was one of 5 kids, and the other 4 kids in his family, 2 married Jews, 1 married a half Jew, 1 converted. So actually, so he was imbued with that sort of background. But yeah, so how do the pickles compare to Parkway? Well, you wouldn't know, Lorraine. Where do you get your pickles?
Do we want to continue the conversation, Rachel? It's okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. To me, this is like more important than anything. I apologize.
It's my fault. I brought up food.
I'll email you, okay?
Yeah, and I
Very
was gonna say,
productive.
we can continue on email. There's in the refrigerated case at the grocery store here. There are 2 brands of very good half sour kosher pickles. I'll take
This
pictures.
is my
and send them.
Hebrew reading class.
Oh,
They're discussing bagels.
But
These people have
Is
all.
one of them Batamt? Because
Yes, Batamt makes good.
I think they have it. I don't do them because of it. First of all, they're not always that fresh. And secondly, they have a preservative that I'm not nuts about. But
I haven't had them in a long time. There's a better one, I think. I agree with
Okay.
you. There's definitely a better one.
I would
Okay,
love
let's get to
know.
work.
All right.
We're gonna get to work. Okay, so we are we're gonna work on Ashrei, and I think we should work on the Via Havta, but in looking at what to do with the Via Havta, I looked in our book, Ein Keloheinu, regarding what he has to say about the Shema. And so you guys, if you have the blue book, open it to page 48. If you don't have it, I can share a page.
You have it.
Okay, page 48.
Got it.
And he points something out that I didn't remember learning before I read his book. But I do remember when I read his book, when we first started this class, reading it, but it's not something that jars you or comes back into my mind, except when you see how the Shema is written in the Torah. So that's on page 48. You see in the upper third, under that, the word, he has the witness and he has aid, and then he has the Shema in calligraphy, right? So Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. And the ayin, the last letter of the word Shema, and then the Dalet, the last letter of the line, are both much larger. You all see that?
Yes.
Right. And, it's only, you only see that when you look at it written in calligraphy. Nobody else prints it that way. I looked at a lot of different pages of the Shema, and they don't do that. And it's interesting what he says. Does somebody want to read for me the paragraph there in the Torah scroll?
Sure.
Thanks, Mary Ellen.
In the Torah scroll, the text of the great affirmation looks like the line below. Please note the enlarged letters in the Shema and Echad. Tradition supplies a reason for that enlargement. If you combine the enlarged letters, you will see a new word. Witness equals 8.
Mhm.
And then the Dalet plus the ayin.
Although it's the iron plus the Dalet, I think. But
Yeah.
that's- You switch
Well, I'm
from
reading
right
it
to left.
that way.
Back and forth.
Yeah,
I'm reading it that way.
exactly.
Ever since the revelation at Sinai, every Jew considers himself a witness to God's unity. Each time a Jew recites the Shema, she bears witness before the world that God is one and unique. Each time a Jew recites the Shema with kavanah, which is deep intent, the following classic story comes to mind. The great scholar, Rabbi Akiva, was marching to a martyr's death for the crime of upholding Judaism. His face radiated with joy. His disciples asked him, "Why are you so happy?" Akiva replied, "All my life I have been yearning for the opportunity to love my God with all my heart, with all my soul, and all my might. This is the moment. I love my God mightily, even at the price of life itself."
So, interestingly, I was taught this story about Rabbi Akiva as a very young child, but I was never, that I recall, no one pointed out to me that ayin and the Dalet being so much larger. So I enjoyed reacquainting myself with that.
And we read about his martyrdom with the others on Yom Kippur.
Exactly.
About
And I remember being in children's services, not even junior congregation, younger, at synagogue, where someone would tell this story to us during the high holidays when we were in the kids' services. So it brings back good memories for me. Will someone read the next paragraph, the defiant phrase, line 2?
I will.
Oh, thanks, Marcia.
The sentence, Baruch Shem Kavod Malkuto Leolam Boed, blessed he, blessed he, the glory of his kingship forever and ever, is printed in the prayer book in small print. In our book, it is printed in parentheses. Why? Because it is not really part of the biblical text of Shema. So why is it here at all? Therein lies a tale. The phrase first appeared in the ritual of the ancient temple as the people's response to the priest's call, Shema equals here. Eventually, the exclamation was absorbed into the original text. The key word of the phrase, Malkuto, his kingship, in Jewish theology, God is the king of the universe of the Jewish people. In the course of time, when certain Roman emperors began to declare themselves as gods and as kings ruling over Judea, this Jewish declaration about God and his kingship were no longer seen as mere theological statement, but also as a defiant political statement against the emperor of Rome. Continue.
Yeah.
In a whisper. However, for fear of the Romans overhearing that they began reciting the significant assertion in the inaudible whisper, except on Yom Kippur. This whisper has remained a custom until today. It is a dual historic reminder both of our fears and our defiance during periods of persecution. At the same time, it reminds us that Rabbi Akiva would not whisper the Shema. He died a martyr with the Shema on his lips for all the world to hear.
Thank you.
Let me mute myself.
Okay. So with that, let's go to the Via Hafta. We can continue in this book if you like, or if you want to switch to your prayer book in Lev Shalem, it's 155. But if your textbook is easy enough for you to read, feel free to read from there. Okay. So I'm gonna call on you. If you want to skip, just say, I pass, okay? So we're gonna start with
Page 49.
page 49, yep, line 3. Okay, that's the first line of the Via Hafta. Lenore, will you read line 3 for us?
V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha.
Perfect, thank you. So stop right there. So, we haven't really done a translation, but what's nice here is he has just those words translated on the left. And you shall love the Lord. Okay, Ohev or Ahava is love. So you shall love the Lord. Line 4. Mary Ellen, will you do line 4?
B'kol lavaka.
So that's not a hard cut, it's a softer. There's no dot in the middle, you see?
B'kal.
The bechal, you see the second letter, the
Mhm.
chaf, it's a chaf, not a kaf.
So b'kal.
Yes,
B'kal lavavka. Uvkal nafshaka. Uvkal ma'odeka.
yes, perfect. So how are you going to love him? With all your heart and with all your soul and with all your might, basically. Line 5, Linda Burns.
והיו הבדרים האלה אשר. You want me to keep going?
Yeah,
אנוכי מצבך היום.
stop right there. So stop right, that's perfect. Okay. So again, he translates, and these words which I command you. And then just to finish the line, Alibavecha shall be upon. So these are the instructions of how we're going to do this sanctifying, right? Loving, following the commandment. Okay, so line 7 in our book, which, where is it in Lev Shalem? So Hayom Alabavecha. Okay, so it's the beginning of the next sentence. But anyway, line 7. Lorraine, will you read there?
Vishinantam Vanecha Dibarta Bam.
Okay.
Bishiv. Continue.
Yeah, go ahead. Okay.
Okay. Bishivtecha Bevetecha Uvlechtecha Vaderech Uv Shachlecha Uv Kumecha.
Perfect. Stop right there. So not only are you going to love him, and you're also going to teach them to your children. You're going to speak of them at certain times when you're going by the way, when you're sitting down, when you're rising up. And these are all, very specific things that we are told to do. And last week, I think somebody asked about different shamas, right? And we talked briefly about, so you say it twice a day in services, but it's often taught to children to say right before bedtime. And I didn't have an exact answer. I don't remember exactly what the question was, if they're two different ones, I guess, but this is where the commandment comes. So the next line 12, I'm sorry, Audrey, can you read?
No.
Aren't we up to 11?
I think we did through 11. No, am I wrong?
Okay, I didn't hear that. Okay.
Okay, so 11 is Uvshach Becha Uvkumecha. I think we read that, but if we didn't, I just did. Okay. So, Eileen, will you do 12?
Ukshar tam leot al yadecha.
Correct. So this is where they start explaining about tefillin. And you shall bind them. They shall be a sign upon you. And now how are they going to be a sign upon you? Because you're going to bind them to your body, literally, right? So 13, Edith, will you read 13?
Vihayu,
Mhm.
Lavovat,
So,
Lavovat,
so this is where latotafot, so the,
Latotafot,
right, so the vav is only serving as a vowel here. So latotafot.
Latotafot, Bain, Elneka.
Einecha, yes, einecha. So I never knew the word frontlets, but that's how it's always right translated here. So it should be a sign between your eyes, and that's where they put right one of the tefillin boxes, right, right on your forehead, and then 14 and 15. Lenore, we'll come back to you. Will you finish off with 14 and 15?
Vahu, Vahau, you, or which my lines aren't numbered. I'm reading from
Oh.
my prayer book.
Okay. Oh, so we're at Uchtaf Tam. So it's the very last line in Lev Shalem. The very last sentence of which
Okay, I see that. Have tam al mezuzot beteha uvish recha.
exactly. So, and it shall be inscribed on the doorposts of your home and on your gates. So this is the commandment for putting up mezuzot. So, you know, it all goes together, in my opinion. Why is this paragraph following the Shema? Because it's telling you what you want to, where you want this to be, how often do you want to say it, where should you be thinking about it, where should you post it as an important symbol. So it all flows perfectly together. Okay.
Rachel.
Mhm.
So in Lev Shalem, we don't have the silent vav that you have in line 13 in the second word.
Okay.
Just
I'm
to
gonna
mention
look-
it. Wait, is it line 13?
I'm looking.
Yeah. So in the second word, the third letter, we don't have that. in the-
Oh, so the totafot.
right.
So you have just the dot. In
Yes,
in Eloheinu, he puts the vav with the dot.
Right.
It's easier to read, honestly, when you don't have the vav if you're a new reader.
Exactly. And because I was looking at Lev Shalem, I went back to look at Ein Kelohenu.
Yeah.
And just so I wanted to, so yeah.
I'm guessing it's so, you know, I was taught it's a shortcut to just put the dot, and it's perfectly appropriate when you're writing, you can just put the dot. But there are definite different ways of spelling it, you know, that we've noticed in the older versions and the newer versions. So, question? Yes, Eileen?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't read a lot of Hebrew calligraphy, practically none, but I find that the calligraphy on the bottom of 49 very, very hard to read.
I agree with you. It's very hard to read. And I don't know that I'd even call it calligraphy. You know, it's not like it's Torah calligraphy like he has on page 48. So it's just what he viewed as appropriate, I think, embellishment to his book.
Oh.
But I agree with you that this weird block shadowed words that come up in several places in his book are hard to read.
It's
not a good font.
Yeah,
I agree.
What's the very first letter of the very first word of that?
That's a bet.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So this is the line This is B'chol Levavcha U'B'chol Nafshecha U'B'chol Me'odecha. So I'm trying to remember, it's line 4 from above in his book, but it's hard to read. I think the ratio of the above the line and the letters that are supposed to go below the line are all messed up. It's like somebody squished them, which makes them
It's like a mirrored funhouse letter.
there we go.
Well,
Which
I'm
is-
happy that it's not just me.
No, it's
No,
just
not
you.
at all.
So it's challenging. Yeah. Hi, Sylvie Ann. I'm happy
Hi.
to see you.
Thank you. I'm sorry I'm late. I had
Not
an
to
important
worry.
call, but I'm
Well,
here.
not a problem. You just missed a discussion about Jewish food early on, but that really isn't a learning experience, I'm sure.
Bagels, it was bagels and deli, Cynthia.
Exactly.
Important when we're eating them.
Yeah, who doesn't want to talk about that? I have one question that's been bugging me. If you were to write Sivian's name, I mean, I wasn't thinking of Sivian when this bothered me, but how would you do the first syllable in Hebrew?
Sivya.
No,
so-
not your Hebrew name. Your
I don't think there is a translate. There's not a good letter
Yeah.
for that in Hebrew, right?
it
So
was bothering me until I realized that the same is true of Spanish, for example. They don't have some of the sounds that we use in English.
yeah.
So, okay, I just wanted
So
to make sure
Sivian,
that I was right.
Sivian, what's your Hebrew name?
Sivya Chana.
Divya Chana?
Sivya Chana.
Yeah. Okay. Lovely. Yeah.
But that
I
would
get it.
probably be Aviv in Hebrew then, not Aviv.
Well, Divya, I don't know. I don't see why. I mean, it's not Aviva. Aviva means spring, but it sounds like it's kind of derived from that.
No, but how would you write it?
My name?
In Hebrew, yeah. So, okay, how do you write it in English, your Hebrew name?
A TZ maybe? Sivya?
Oh,
Cynthia.
Sivya. As in Sipora. So it's short for Sipora.
No. Sivya, like the deer, Tzvi?
Oh,
The-
gotcha. Okay.
Is it the feminine form of tzvi?
Yes.
I think so.
Yes, it sounds like it is. Sivya, right.
So the
So-
vowel would be a single dot probably is what I'm guessing.
I don't know.
It's
Under-
probably a shva. It's probably a shva.
Okay.
And it's a tzadi. That TZ sound is tzadi, and so it's probably shva under the tzadi. Sivya. I
Yeah,
got it.
It's the vowels are what interest me on this stuff. So
Well, hold on one second. Okay, so Tzvi, the tribe of Judah. Let's see. Hebrew tribe. Is going to give us, looking for, this is not helping. So I'm just imagining the, right, that's the stained glass windows of all the different tribes, and they have one for Tzvi. And I think it's just 3 letters, a tzadi, a vav, and a yud.
I think
But it might be a vav, yeah, I think that's right. So I was looking for it.
I have it written at one place. Tzadi, Vav, Yud, and a Hey.
Okay, there you go.
It's the feminine form of tzvi.
Yeah. So that's the answer. Perfect.
thank you.
Okay. All right. Do you want me? So we can do a couple of things. We can listen to Rabbi Ahuva Zach's chanting the Via Hafta. I can just share that with you separately. I also will share again the Behrman page where they read Via Hafta one word by one word. Okay, but we don't need to do that one together. Do you want to hear it chanted?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, then I'm going to share my screen. Okay, here is Rabbi Ahuva Zaks.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובמלאכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
Okay, so then she skips down to the end of the third paragraph, which we're not going to do. Okay. All right. So now I would like us to go back, well, to go to Ashrei. And don't all jump for joy at once. I don't expect you to. It's quite all right. All right, so Ashrei is on page 181 in Lev Shalem, or page 420 in the big blue Sim Shalom, or 151 in the smaller Sim Shalom. But we're gonna do it a little differently.
Oh, I missed the page with the call.
I'm sorry, which book do you have?
Can we use the blue book or no?
I don't know where Ashrei is in there. Do you have a Siddur?
Yes, I have Lev Shalom.
Okay, so in Lev Shalem, it's page 181.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
Not a problem. Good morning, Marjorie.
We lost our electricity. My alarm didn't go off. I apologize
Oh.
for being late.
That's not a problem. No. But you actually, so you missed a conversation about Posens and Parkway and the bagel maker.
Oh,
Jewish food in Montgomery County and Washington,
Oh.
D.C.
I'm good at Jewish food in Montgomery County.
I'm sure
Did
you
anyone
are.
mention Altman's Deli?
I was going to tell Audrey about Atman's. You saying
Okay, so-
Atman?
I thought it was Altman's, ALT.
Are you talking about Cabin John near there?
Yeah.
Park Potomac.
It's Park Potomac now.
Okay, because my former boss's boss wasn't overwhelmed, but I think it's better in Baltimore, but I have not been there myself. But if
They
have,
sell tongue.
okay, that was my mother's gig. I was disgusting to me, but because she kept a whole naked tongue in the refrigerator without a cover, it was gross.
Oh, no, I buy slices.
Yeah,
Well,
but
so Audrey, you'll appreciate this, that my father loved sliced tongue sandwiches, and he was always trying to get my sisters and I to take a bite. He'd try to fool us. He'd go, "Oh, I have the most delicious sandwich. Take a bite." And we're like, "What's in there?" "Nah, I don't think about it. Just take a bite." It's like, "No, that's tongue. We're not taking a bite of that."
you know,
I never tasted it. I couldn't get
taste
past what it
buds
was. I
are just-
couldn't do
it
it.
has all the taste buds. It's just icky.
Let's not go any farther. Thank you. I don't want to know.
I
And we
just,
don't
want-
need to-
but Lorraine, I'm going there for the pickles. I'll go there.
Oh,
for
their
the
pickles are wonderful.
Okay,
Yeah.
worth it right there. I can stop by on the way back from getting my hair cut.
There you go. We
Okay.
solved the dilemma.
Yes.
Let us
Okay,
know what you think, Audrey.
I apologize, I'm still getting dressed.
it's
But
okay.
your hair looks really cute.
Oh, thanks.
I
Hey,
mean,
Thanks for not doing anything.
Regarding the chanting of the Vahapta, I really like the one in Behrman House. I just love the way she sings it.
Did she sing it or did she just read it?
It has a lilt to it. I thought I wasn't sure.
I thought they were just reading it, not chanting it, but I have to.
Oh, okay, I could be
misleading.
wrong. I could be wrong, but I like using that for
Okay.
the,
All right, so we
I
are
had a-
going,
Excuse
Go
me,
ahead.
I had people at the desk. What page and what are we doing?
we're gonna do Ashrei. We're gonna do Ashrei and it's.
Okay, I'm at Osprey. Okay, I'm good.
Okay, fine. Okay. All right, so we're gonna do it from the end back to the beginning, but not just the second half. We're literally gonna do the last two lines, then and then we'll go up to the fourth from the bottom, then we'll go up to the sixth from the bottom. We're literally doing it backwards, okay?
Okay.
So,
you
so
said
for me, I have to,
181.
so we're on 182.
Oh,
And literally count from the last line to the line above it. And we're gonna start reading there, okay? I mean, I can read for you if you want the first one to give you the memory of it, but.
I'm in Encaloheno, that's okay.
All right, everybody have a spot looking at their Ashrei.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna read literally the last two lines. Vayivarech kol basar shem kadsho leolam va'ed. Oh, I should have started at slightly above that. I apologize.
Yeah, it's pairs.
is it
not.
below, are you reading below that arrow, the red arrow?
I'm reading at the red arrow now. I
On
missed-
the red
I-
arrow.
On the
Okay.
red arrow. I apologize. Tehilat Adonai Yedaber Pi. Vayivarech kol basar shem kadsho leolam va'ed. Va'anachnu nivarech Yah me'ata ve'ad olam. Hallelujah. Okay, so that's the last two lines technically. So now we want to go up two lines above that where the resh is, okay? And is it okay if I call on you guys? You can pass if you want to pass. Okay? Lorraine, can I start with you?
Sure. Ritzon, Yire'av, Ya'aseh. Ve'eh, Shavatam, Yishma, V'yoshiem.
You know what, maybe,
Sure.
so,
Yes,
I think, well, you guys can either read one line or two lines. I leave it up to you. So Lorraine, it's up to you. Do you want to read the next line or not?
I'm on a roll. Let me continue.
Thank you. I think so too, but I realize I'm asking more of you than I usually do. So that's what, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Maybe I'll regret this. We'll see. Shomer Adonai et Kal Ohavav Ra'et Ve'et
Right?
Har Sha'im Yashmid.
Beautiful, excellent. Okay, so now we'll go up one line at a time instead of two, okay? So we're now at the kaf. Linda, you see where everyone, okay, we're at kaf. Linda, will you read there? Mhm.
Karoth Adonai Lechol Karav.
Core.
Korav Lechol Asher Yikra Uhu Ve'emet.
The emet, perfect. Stop right there. Okay, we're gonna go to the line above it that starts with the tzadi. Edith, will you read that line?
Sadiq Adonai, the call, the become see
Chassid.
see.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Because my son,
So
my
it's
son,
ma'asav. So
my sub.
right, the ayin is completely silent, so you get ma'a, and then it's a sin, not a shin, so ma'asav.
I know. I tell you.
It's okay.
That-
You're doing
That little
beautifully.
that little dot up there moves on me. Or it
Well, and
refuses
I
to
know-
I
move.
agree.
And I think one of the you know, you were pronouncing it, but it was sticking in your throat. So you're doing great. And that happens to all of us. Mary Ellen, will you read the one that starts with pay?
Hoteach et Yadeka
Mhm.
umaspi la kol chai ratzon.
Beautiful. Nice job. Okay. Sibby Ann, Ian,
Ene Cho Alecha
Ayla.
Elecha Ya Sa Beru Ba'ata Notain Lehem Et Achlam
Mhm.
Beito.
Perfect. Lovely. Okay. Now we're at the Samach. Audrey, do you want to read?
I'll try. Somer, no, Somecha Adonai.
Somech. You were right the first time. Somech.
Somech Adonai lechol on no not anoflim.
Mhm.
The bezoker
Kaif. Kaif.
cave lako hak hakufim.
Perfect. Haklufim. Exactly. Nice. Okay.
Could you repeat the word that starts with Vav Zion?
Vizokaif.
Visokane?
Vizokaif. So the final letter is a feet. Vizokaif.
Okay.
Okay. So it's Somech Adonai Lachol Hanoflim Vizokaif Lachol Hakfufim. Okay. We're now at the mem line. Marjorie, would you like to read or you want to pass?
I haven't had a lot of time to practice, but
It's totally up to you. You can just keep listening and pick up later. It's fine.
I'll pick up later.
Okay, fine. Marcia, will you read the
Yeah, I
memo?
got a quiet moment. Malkut Kal, Olamim, Umem Shal Taka, Umem Shal Taka, Bakal, Door.
Nice, very good. Okay. The Lamed line above. Lenore, I think we're back up in your corner.
Evahodia livnei ha'adam gavurotav urod hadar malhuto.
Nice. Okay. Eileen, will you read the next line, which starts with a kaf?
Kavod Malhutecha.
Malchutecha. No.
Oh, I put the accent wrong?
You added a vowel that's not there. So at the end, there's a shva before the last.
Malchutcha.
That's it.
Yomeru.
No, that's a gimel.
Oh. Uvuratecha.
You keep adding that "a." It's uvuratecha. It's a shva, right?
Utcha.
Yeah.
Beru.
Yida Beru.
Yuda Beru.
Yes. So it's, I'll read it back. Kavod malchutecha yomeru ugvuratecha yida Beru. Okay.
Thank you.
To the previous page. Mary Ellen, will you read the Yud line?
Yoduka Adonai Kol Ma'aseka the Chasidika va Vahasidika
Decha. This one-
Vahasideka
Exactly.
Vahasideka Yavarkuka.
Barucha. Perfect. Okay, nice. Edith, will you do the next line with the tet?
The tet.
So the first word's tov.
Told by the Nile call.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay.
You're halfway done.
Barak Mav, Al Call, Maya Shab.
So
Maya Sab.
ma'asav, exactly. So I think, Edith, you read perfectly when you're reading to yourself, but the minute you read out loud to us, you get all nervous and you can't do it.
I know all my rhythm and everything leaves, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
But it's all in there. Because I can tell when you don't think about it, you zoom through it. Then when you stop and you're like, they're listening to
I
me,
know.
and you get very you get tongue tied. Okay.
No.
So we're on the chet line. Audrey, will you give us a go?
Sure. Chanu, Chanun,
Mm-hmm.
Verachun, Chun, Adonai, Erecha,
Erech.
Erech, Afayim, Ugdo, Chesed,
Chased.
Chesed.
Right. And you have to, you're going back to your old way of putting in there, which is confusing you because that's not a sound we have in Hebrew. No
I'm so sorry.
It's all right. Okay. Siviane, will you do the Zion?
Zecher Rav Tuvcha
Yep.
Yabiu
Ooh, yabi ooh.
Yabiu
Right, the
Yabiu
ayin has no sound at all.
Yabiu Vatsigd Ka Tacha
Mm-hmm.
Yarein Yaranenu Yaranenu.
Perfect. Perfect. You got that one. Okay. Linda, will you do the Vav?
I am trying to find it. I'm in a totally different book than you guys.
Okay, I'm sorry. So it's Ve'ezuz. Do you see the?
I found it. The
Okay.
Azuz. No re tech. Yo meru. Ugdu la techa. Asaf.
Oh, thank you,
Asaf.
thank you.
Asaf Renu.
Asaprena.
Oh, Afana.
So Ve'ezuz no rotecha yomeru. Ugdu latecha asaprena. Okay, you were very close. Excellent. Okay. Lorraine, hey.
Adar Kavod Hodecha the Divrei Nif Lo Techa.
Lotecha. This time there's the e there. Niflotecha.
Nif Lo Techa Asicha.
Very nice. Very good. Okay. Sibian, will you do Dalid?
Dor la dor Yasha Bach Secha Ugvu Rotecha Yagidu.
Very nice. Thank you. Marjorie, if you'd like to read, but unmute because I muted you when your husband came in. It's okay.
Okay.
There you go. So we're on Gimel.
Gedal
Yes.
Adonai ha lal miyod vi. Is it a resh or is a?
The league.
It's vil gedula to
Mhm.
ein ha kef Ked,
Hey care.
hey,
Hey care.
Ked. Sorry, I
That's
have the
okay.
dancing dots too.
It's okay. So it's Gadol Adonai Hulal Me'od Velig Du Lato Ein Cheker. All right, we're on the bet line. I'm lost who's reading. So Lenore, will you do bet?
Yes, B'chol Yom Havar Ha V'Ahalala
Mhm.
Shimcha Le'olam Va'ed.
Very nice. Okay. Eileen, will you do the Aleph?
Aro mimacha Elocha Elocha.
Elohai.
Oh, that's that special case.
Yep.
No, it's just there's the yud after the hey at the end. So Elohai. It turns it into I.
Ye Elohai.
Mhm,
Hamelech
mhm.
Varcha
Mhm.
Shimcha
Yep.
L'chulam Va'ed.
Yes.
L'olam Va'ed.
Yes. So this line usually starts with Tehillah LeDavid, which is a little bit above it. So Tehillah LeDavid, Aromimcha Elohai Hamelech, Va'avarcha Shimcha Le'olam Va'ed. Okay, Mary Ellen, you want to do the last two? Do as much as you like.
All right.
We're still close to the end.
Ashrei Yoshev Beiteka Od Yahaleluka Sela Ashrei Ha'am Shekakalo Ashrei Ha'am Sha'adonai Elohav.
Very nice. All right. So, you guys are getting smoother. I know it's challenging doing it in the wrong order. It just means you have to sight read it and you can't rely on your brain reminding you, right? So this is one of the tricks that I used to use with my kids when they were preparing for bar and bat mitzvah. It's like, yeah, you can't just go along and think I'm not paying attention to each word. No, we're gonna do it in a reverse order. And then they really had to focus.
That happens in a lot of prayers.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And it's one thing once you know them to zoom through them, but before you are pronouncing them properly, you shouldn't zoom through them. So
Rachel, by the way, Ashrei is in the blue book on
Okay.
page 88.
thank you.
Oh, thank
All right,
you.
I'm gonna mark
And
it.
we go through it line by line, what each line means
Okay,
in
Well,
English.
very good. And of course, he has those really big letters, although these aren't too hard to read on 88. Ashrei Yoshvei Beitecha. It looks like it's calligraphy from the Torah, so it's pretty easy to read. It's not those weird font thing. I don't know what to call it. With the
Did you talk about this at the beginning? Where's Geraldine today?
she was traveling to visit family.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Can
What I
I-
didn't. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
I'm sorry, Rachel. I didn't realize you weren't finished.
No, go ahead.
I apologize if I missed this conversation about registering for the next class.
That's what I was just about to talk about. So
Okay,
you're
thank
right on
you.
target.
Mm.
Yes, I was going to repeat that. So again, in Women's League Week, there is a blurb, a block that says for new women, new to these classes, for new registrants, you guys are not those ladies. You guys are continuing scholars, and so you do not need to register. All you need to do is tell me that if you want to continue with me with this class, you are welcome to take someone else's class. I will not be offended. If the time doesn't work for you, if you want to try a different teacher, then you need to reach out to Julia Loeb. But if you want to stick with us and our lovely our lovely camaraderie, you just need to tell me and we will continue.
Do you want it in an email? Or do you want
Excuse
it,
me?
do you want it in an email or vocally?
If you want to tell me right now, I'll write it
I
down.
have a question. I have a question. Is there going to be one section or two, and how many people are going to be in it?
There's just gonna be one. And I don't know how many people are gonna be in it. I can't
No,
promise.
1
you.
o'clock, huh?
No, 1 o'clock. I'm only gonna do this time. Yeah, I just can't do both again. I just have, it's too hard for me. And we ended up with only 3 or 4 of you at 1 o'clock. So,
Right.
I apologize, but especially with me trying to visit my refugee family and stuff, I just need that
Convention.
afternoon free.
I have another question. Are you going to be teaching a class that comes before this, not in time, but in intensity?
No,
Okay.
I agreed to teach only you guys, continuing from wherever we are,
Okay,
one class, one section.
Okay.
Okay.
I would do it, but I have to do it like I'm doing it.
Well, that's okay, Marcia. It doesn't bother me if it doesn't bother you. You just have
No,
to.
And I just
you know,
mute you when somebody comes up.
Exactly. You mute yourself, I mute you. Doesn't face me a bit.
Okay, I would
I
like to
think it's
be
great just to
included.
have you, Marcia, so
Yeah,
stay with us.
Yeah, Sibby Ann and I are the only two that are left over, right?
Right. But the afternoon time was much better.
Well, Eileen was afternoon also.
Eileen switched to afternoon, yeah.
Yeah.
But so
I only switched because of the size of the class. I had nothing to do with the time when I switched.
okay, so give me a show of hands. If you want to continue, give me a quick hand up and I'm gonna mark you. Audrey, Linda, looks like everybody.
just take a
Okay.
screenshot.
That's okay. I have it very easily figured out here.
And then is that considered intermediate, Rachel? That class?
Yes, we are some form of intermediate.
I like
think-
that. Some
That's
folk-
Yeah.
well put.
I like that.
A level of interview.
We're on the intermediate journey, right?
Yes, you are, exactly. You're no longer beginners, in my opinion. But
Does feel like it though.
I think you know what? When you guys master Ashray, I'm gonna call you superior intermediate or something. You guys are gonna get the big,